Hello, and welcome back to the Compassionate Curiosity Podcast, a space where we explore the messy, beautiful, challenging project of being human. I'm your host, Rachel, and for over a decade, I've supported thousands of women on their well-being journeys as a family nurse practitioner, Peace Corps health educator, wellness coach, and yin yoga and meditation teacher. And I help women break free from the exhausting cycle of never feeling good enough in their bodies without having to lose weight or fix themselves, so they don't waste another year feeling depleted, disconnected, and drained from the pressure to look a certain way. And here in this space, we dive into the stories we carry about stress, our bodies, and self worth, sharing tools, reflections, and lived experience to help you soften the pressure, reconnect with your body, and create more space in your life to breathe, rest, and just be. All guided by curiosity and grounded in compassion. And if you're not already following the show, take a quick second here to hit follow so you never miss a new episode. And I'm so glad to have you here with me today. Today, we're diving into a topic that a lot of women struggle with silently and often with a lot of shame around it. And that thing is body checking. When I say body checking, I mean all those little moments where we look at, scan, monitor, analyze, or compare our bodies. And I want to say this right up front. If you do this, or you've done this, or you feel like you do it 400 times a day, you're not doing anything wrong. You're actually just human, responding to stress and expectations, and maybe old patterns that once made you feel safer. Body checking is incredibly common, especially if you've been carrying stress, anxiety, perfectionism, or pressure about how your body looks for a long time. So today we're going to explore this in a way that's both grounded and judgment free so that we can understand it more clearly, see it for what it is, and learn how to meet it with compassion. So we're going to look at what body checking is, why we do it, why it actually hurts us, even though sometimes it feels helpful in the moment, and how to begin shifting the pattern with compassion rather than forcing. And so before we dive in, as always, I want to invite you to join me in a moment here of slowing down, tuning in, connecting. Let's arrive here, arrive in your body, arrive in your presence, arrive in yourself. And so if you're safe and able to, I invite you to make yourself comfortable and gently close your eyes. And let's start by taking a deep breath in through the nose and letting out a long, slow breath through your nose. And take one more deep breath in and out like this. And then let your breath fall into its natural rhythm, however that is right now. And see if you can shift your attention to your abdomen, your belly area. Just notice any sensations in that area as you breathe in and out. Maybe you notice your abdomen expanding as you breathe in, contracting as you breathe out. Maybe you notice pressure, tightening, softness. Whatever it is, see if you can allow it to be there and see it as simply patterns of energy in the body that come and go. And let's take one more deep breath in through the nose and let out a long, slow breath through the nose. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes and coming back to this space. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start by taking a deeper look at what body checking actually is. Body checking is basically any behavior where we're monitoring our body to get reassurance a sense of control, or a feeling of safety. And just to clarify, there is a difference between tuning into your body and checking your body. So I want to make that clear here. Noticing and being aware of things like pain, hunger, bloating, your cycle, that is totally normal, totally healthy. That's not body checking. Today, we're talking specifically about the appearance-focused habits like mirrors, grabbing, weighing, comparing, all of that. The difference is that tuning in is about connection and body checking is about monitoring. So today we're focusing on the monitoring piece. And this can look like so many things. It can be looking in the mirror every time you pass one, lifting your shirt to check your stomach, pinching your arms or belly, weighing yourself frequently, zooming in on every photo of yourself, comparing your body to past photos, asking someone else, do I look okay? Are you sure? Checking how your clothes are fitting or sitting on your body, or even mentally replaying how you think you looked earlier today. Basically, if it's an action or a thought where you're analyzing, evaluating, or monitoring your body in some way, it counts as body checking. And if you're nodding along to most of that list, you are in very, very good company, my dear, because this is something so many of us women do. And for most, it becomes automatic long before we ever realize it's happening. So I invite you to give yourself some grace here and let's build some understanding around this. So let's look at why we do this body checking, and then we'll get into why it's even an issue. Body checking isn't a vanity thing. It's not a being obsessed with your appearance thing. It's actually a safety strategy. So let's break that down into a few different parts here. First part, your nervous system is trying to keep you safe by doing body checking. When you're stressed or overwhelmed, or when life just feels like a lot, your brain often scans for something predictable, something it can latch onto or control. And sometimes the body becomes that thing. Research shows that checking behaviors give us temporary relief, but that relief fades quickly and the urge comes back even stronger. It's a little hit of, okay, I think I'm okay, followed by, wait, am I still okay? So it's not you being dramatic or vain, it's your brain trying to regulate. Another part of this is that we've been trained to monitor our bodies. Diet culture, social pressure, beauty standards, all of it has taught us that our worth and our safety are tied to how we look. Things like you'll be more confident if you change your body. Things like your body needs to look a certain way to be accepted, or the idea that thinner automatically means better. And we were taught to treat our bodies like projects instead of homes we live in. So body checking is often just conditioning playing itself out. Another reason for this is that body checking tends to spike when emotions spike. Hear me out on this. Most body checking urges don't show up because something's wrong with your body. They usually show up because something is happening emotionally. Stress, conflict, uncertainty, feeling not enough, feeling overwhelmed, feeling disconnected from yourself. And the brain says, let's check the body to calm down, even though it doesn't actually calm us down. This is one that I personally resonated with on my journey here. Whenever I find myself body checking, I now take that as an invitation to check in with myself around my emotions. What emotion am I feeling or trying to avoid right now? And that usually leads to something like, oh, I'm actually feeling anxious about something completely unrelated to my body. Maybe it's work or a conversation I'm avoiding, or just feeling stressed or overwhelmed. And that this actually isn't about my stomach or my thighs. The body checking was trying to manage an emotion I wasn't fully aware of yet. Another part of this is related to habit loops. Body checking becomes automatic. It becomes a loop. Trigger leads to urge, leads to checking, leads to temporary relief, leads to more checking. And that loop can get really tight really quick. And another reason we body check is because that body checking is often a protective part of us. In internal family systems, or IFS terms, this is usually a protector, a part of you that learned, if I keep the body in check, maybe I won't get hurt. Maybe I won't be rejected. Maybe I'll be okay. This part isn't actually trying to sabotage you. It's trying to keep you safe in the only way it knows how. It's usually a younger, protective part doing what it thinks it has to do. And that part deserves compassion, not criticism. So now let's shift into why body checking even matters. Like, what is the problem here? Like, what does it do to us? And first of all, I want to invite in here gentleness, because this isn't about judging the behavior. My intention for this section is to open the door to understanding its impact. And so there are a few ways that this body checking harms us. One is that it reinforces the belief that appearance equals worth. The more you check, the more your brain learns my safety comes from how I look, which is so freaking exhausting. Another reason is that it increases anxiety long term. Research is super clear here. Body checking reduces anxiety for a few minutes and then increases it overall. So it keeps you in a hypervigilant state. Number 3, it disconnects you from your actual body. Checking puts you in analysis mode, not in connection mode. You're looking at your body instead of being in your body. It also drains emotional energy. All that checking takes so much mental bandwidth. Energy that could be going into your relationships, your joy, your rest, your creativity. And lastly, it erodes body trust. When you're constantly monitoring your body, your nervous system never gets the chance to learn that your body is safe as it is. And again, this isn't because you're doing something wrong. It's because the behavior is rooted in fear, stress, and old conditioning. So what can we do about this body checking that for so many of us has become automatic and habitual? I want to offer you here 3 tools that you can try out in those moments when you catch yourself body checking. And with each of these tools, what we're going for here is awareness and choice, not for getting it right or trying to fix anything. So the first tool is the awareness pause. When you feel the urge to check, pause for 2 to 3 seconds and say, I'm noticing the urge to check. That's it. You don't have to stop the behavior. You just create awareness around it. And that might not seem earth-shattering, but this is research-backed. Awareness weakens the habit loop. So we can start there. The second tool is to ask yourself, what am I actually needing right now? And seeing what comes up. Is it safety? Is it reassurance? Is it grounding? Is it predictability? Is it a sense of control because life feels chaotic right now? Is it emotional support? Again, usually it's not about the body's appearance. It's about the nervous system. And so asking yourself this question, getting curious, interrupts the automatic loop, slowing the whole pattern down. It gives you a moment of awareness before the habitual checking takes over. And that tiny pause is what helps you respond instead of react. It gives you the power to choose something different in that moment. The third tool is when you notice yourself checking, swap the check for a regulator or a grounding tool. So you are replacing the checking with a grounding tool. This is one that I use regularly. And so here are a few of those replacing grounding tools that you can try out when you notice yourself checking. Placing a hand on your chest and taking a slow, deep breath in and out. Wiggling your toes, lengthening your spine, dropping your shoulders, feeling your feet on the ground, taking a mindful sip of water, saying to yourself, I see that you're trying to keep me safe. Thank you. I'm choosing connection over checking right now. Just any one of these shifts the pattern by sending your brain a new message that you don't have to check your body to feel okay. You're teaching your brain a new pathway, one that's based in connection, not surveillance. And so it brings your attention back into your body in a soothing way instead of in a critical or monitoring way. And so I want to take a moment here to share with you a little bit about my journey with body checking. When I was in the thick of things with my eating disorder, looking back, I feel like I was constantly body checking because I realized I was living in survival mode. And like we talked about, it was one of the ways my nervous system was trying to keep me safe. And when I think back to that time in my life, holy hell, was that ever exhausting. And I have so much compassion for myself for what I was navigating at that time. As harmful as those behaviors were, I now know that my system was trying to protect me from so much, from fear, from shame, from uncertainty, from emotions I didn't have the capacity to feel. And during that time, that was an example of not even realizing, not knowing I was doing body checking. I didn't even know what that was back then. That wasn't a phrase in my vocabulary. And then moving into recovery, there was also a lot of body checking going on when I was restoring my weight, when my body was changing, being nourished again. So much checking. My legs, my butt, my arms, my belly, everything. And it wasn't until I started practicing self-compassion that pattern could even begin shifting for me. That was truly step number one. And then learning the tools to support myself in those moments. The tools and practice that created new neural pathways for me, which is what led to new behaviors and a different way of relating to myself. And so now, when I catch myself body checking, because I still do, that is human and that will continue, that is an invitation to pause, to place my hand over my heart, take a deep breath in and out, and ask myself, what do I really need right now? And like we talked about earlier, 10 out of 10 times, the answer to that question has nothing to do with my body's appearance and almost always to do with some emotion that I'm not letting myself feel. And so I sit in stillness and in quiet and let my body speak to me. So if after listening to this, you start noticing how frequently you body check or that it's more than you realized, I want you to know that that is okay. You're not alone there. And may my story be a clear example that change is possible. That if this pattern is no longer serving you, there is a way to shift. There is a different way available of being, a way of being at peace in your body. And so, as we wrap up here, a few reminders for you. You, my dear, are not broken. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not obsessed with your appearance. You're responding to a world that taught you your worth is fragile. And you're responding in the ways your nervous system knows how. And now you get to choose to learn a new way of being, a more open way, a more connected way, a way that brings you back into your body instead of pulling you out of it. And so before we go, I want to leave you with a few questions you can reflect on. When does body checking show up most for me? What am I usually feeling underneath the urge to check? What might support me instead of checking? And most importantly, how can I offer myself compassion when this urge shows up? And see what comes up for you around these questions. And so I hope this has been helpful. And if you are wanting more personalized guidance and support around body checking and self compassion and awareness building, I have a few more spots next week that I'm leaving open for those of you who are interested in joining me for a body peace breakthrough session, where you and I will explore what's coming up for you around your relationship with your body, what might be underneath of that that's keeping you stuck, and next powerful steps to take to help you move toward more peace and ease in your body and in your life. And so I will link below in the show notes as to how to connect with me for that and get that scheduled. And if you're finding these episodes supportive, I'd love for you to give the show a rating. It helps this podcast reach more women who are ready for more compassionate conversations around their bodies. And again, thank you so, so much for joining me and sharing this space with me today. And until next time, may you know that you are not alone. I am here with you. May you be guided by curiosity and grounded in compassion. Sending you love, light, and gratitude today and always.